Yo, what's up? It's Alisha. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I just wanted to do like a really chill, really casual, like chit chat video. Maybe like a month and a half or so ago, I brought up on Instagram that I had been thinking about doing like a how I got through the past year, how I got through like the roughest year of my life kind of video. And so I reached out to you guys to see if you guys would be interested in hearing that video. And surprisingly, like everybody said yes. All of you guys were like, yes, Alisha, please share, because I know it would help me out, and just so much positive feedback. So I think that I'm finally ready to just sit down with you guys, share kind of just like the journey of like where I have been, emotionally and mentally over the past year, like starting from the very beginning all the way to where I am now. Because honestly, from you guys' point of view, y'all just saw me post a video in like January saying, hey, I'm going through a divorce. And then I just kept moving on with my life. You guys haven't seen too much of like the behind the scenes. And although that was intentional, like I wanted to handle my personal just, mental state and my sanity and like all that kind of stuff internally. But I feel like I also wanted to share with y'all the steps that I did do behind the scenes, just in case it may help you guys out as well. So that's what today's video is all about. I'm just like super chilled out. Y'all, I have my sweatshirt on, like some sweatpants on, like no makeup, because I just felt like I wanted to keep it real chill and just real with you guys. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, y'all. So where do I start? Okay. It was about a little over a year ago, like the end of summer, early fall of last year, so of 2018, where things were going real good. Like I was just happy, or I thought that I was happy at that point in my life. I was just like going through the motions, like living my life. I was a whole wife, a mom, like just doing my thing. And just life at the time, like it was really good. And so a little bit over a year ago, I found out like one day that I would be going through a separation and going through a whole divorce. And I'm sure if y'all can imagine like how crazy it was to like go from just like having your whole family like together and just everything seemingly being well and you're just happy and just life is just like coasting, and then all of a sudden like you hear that kind of news which literally changes your entire life. Like it literally like I was hit by a sack of bricks. Like I feel like my world had ended that day. Like no joke, y'all. I felt so empty. I felt like my life had just ended that day. Like it was just hard to even imagine life in the future. Like I was just like, this is it. Like everything is ruined. Like my life is ruined. Like how is this happening to me? I felt so empty. And I was just like confused, hurt, angry, like, but still trying to hold on, trying to find a way through this, trying to fight for it. Like I literally had so many emotions going on. Oh, sorry, y'all, I'm kind of sick. But I had so many emotions going on through my head. And so for like a couple of months, I was just like, it was so weird because like half of me was just so broken. Like I was so broken. I was like crying every single day. Like I think I cried every single day, at least once a day for like 3 months straight. No exaggeration, no lie at all. I would cry like 1, 2 times, maybe even 3 times a day. I remember I had just started a new job too, y'all. When all this was happening, I had just started a new job. So I had all this going on in my personal life, but I still had to like just like hide all that emotion, hide all that pain, and like still go to work because it was a new job. I wanted to do well. But I remember that I would still be like at work, sitting at my desk, like fighting back tears. I would even cry sometimes during lunch because I couldn't hold on to it. Like I was super duper emotional. And so it was just like it was such a rough time, like I was so sad, like every day, all day, I was so sad. I remember calling my sisters like every morning before work just to like tell them how I was doing and like talk to them and vent to them. And it was just, y'all, it was like, you know how I smile a lot in my videos? Like, I was like smiling during that time, but I was like, I'm sure you could see like the pain that I had going on like through my eyes because I was such an emotional wreck. I was sad, I was angry, I was hurt. But then there was another part of me that was still trying to fight. Like, even though I was super hurt and just really emotional, I was still trying to like fight and, save my marriage and like save my family, all this kind of stuff. And so it was just like a toss between like, how do I feel? Like, I just felt like torn in so many different directions. And it was just trying to keep it all together was really, really, really hard for me. And so that just kept happening for like months at a time, y'all. And it's crazy because I think like as each day kept going, although I was really hurt and although I was still fighting, I feel like I kept finding a piece of like strength. Like I kept adding a piece of strength to me. So it's like every day I kept getting stronger and a little bit stronger and a little bit stronger and a little bit stronger. Like it's so weird how it kind of all was happening at the same time. But it's like at the very beginning of that stage, like the first day, I felt like I had no confidence. I felt like I was just weak, broken. I felt empty, like completely empty. But it's like during this like phase of trying to make it work and trying to fight for my marriage, but then also like being just like mad and angry. It's like during this all that I still felt like I was slowly but surely putting the pieces together. Like I was just getting a little bit stronger, a little bit wiser, a little bit more confident. And it's so crazy, y'all, because whenever I just left my job for a new job, and during my exit interview, my coworkers were like praising me on how they were just blown away by how I was able to like not bring my personal situation, because they all knew that I was going through a divorce. So they were just surprised at how I was able to keep all of my personal stuff at home and like put on a brave face and get my work done and work hard and like just be strong and like get stuff done at work. And I think it was because, as I mentioned, like I was just getting like a little bit stronger and I was able to like push through. Like I was just pushing through, like from 9 to 5, I was like finding some kind of willpower to like get through. And then whenever I get home, I can like cry and like do all that. But I was like trying to push through, because at the end of the day, like the reality is the world does not stop because of my own problems, my own troubles. Like the world is not going to stop for me. So it's up to me. Like, even though I wanted to feel the pain, I wanted to deal with my emotions, I still had to like work. I still had to like get through life. I still had to like do adulting and adult things, because the world's still going. I still have bills to pay. I still got, Val is a whole human being over here, like who needs me, who's dependent on me. So it's like you honestly have to still push through. You can still like feel the emotions. You can still go through the different feelings and the different phases of this kind of traumatic experience, or not a traumatic experience, but more of like just a life altering experience, because it's natural. You're going to go through all these different emotions. Like it's a very natural thing to do. But at the end of the day, life doesn't stop. I have a whole daughter. I need a place to live. Like I have bills to pay. Like things still have to get done. So I always remember that in the back of my head. So I'm just going through life, y'all, trying to like figure out what's next. Like I had to start trying to find a place to live by myself. Trying to figure out how I'm going to like just manage, like, because you build this life of like having two people in the picture. And so once it's just you solo dolo, it's like you're having to change everything, like budgeting, just your way of life, your lifestyle, like everything is going to change. And so I went through that. I went through those feelings. I went through all that for like a few months. So at this point, we are at the end of last year going into 2019 this year. And I remember thinking like I had been praying so much over the past 3+ months, like, God, can you put us back together? God, can you soften his heart? God, can you make us work? God, can you do X, Y, and Z for our marriage? But I wasn't praying for God to just have his way. Like, I wasn't praying for God to just let whatever happens, allow me to find peace, allow me to feel whole again, allow me to take the necessary steps to be happy again. Like, I wasn't praying about those kinds of things, which I believe are much more important. I was just trying to see what I believed was his will, his way, which was just fix this marriage and that's it. And so I think that end of December, beginning of January, I was like, you know what, God, I am going to stop praying for that. And I just want you to just, you do your work. You have your way. You make everything fall into place. You just do what you have planned. And I'm going to sit back and let you do your thing. Because all this time, this vision I had over my life for the past 20+ years, like, maybe this is just all a part of your plan. Maybe, what's happened or what's transpired over the past, few months, maybe this is a part of your plan. Like, I don't know, and I can't speak for you, but just let whatever is supposed to happen, and I trust you. And I think January of 2019 was whenever I fully gave my heart to God. Like, I was just like, I trust you. You have complete control over my life. I am going to stop trying to plan everything, trying to make everything happen, because if you guys don't know, I'm a planner. Like, I am a natural planner. I'm a worrier. I try to like figure out every single part of my life. So I think the past 3 or 4 months, I had been trying to like subconsciously trying to plan everything. I was trying to make everything work. I wasn't really giving God full control. I was like in my head trying to just make it all work. I was putting the weight on my shoulders when I should have been giving it to God and letting him have his way and do whatever is supposed to happen. And so January, I was like, you know what, God, nope. I'm not going into this year doing the same thing I had been doing. It wasn't working. I didn't really feel like I felt much better than I did like 3 or 4 months back. And that's whenever I knew like how I was approaching it was not it. It wasn't it. I wasn't feeling much better. I didn't feel happier really. Like, it just wasn't working. So in January, I put all my trust in him. I let God just have his way. And I just was really intentional about my walk with God. I was just trying to like, just listen and be so in tune with him. And I would like start my morning with praise and worship. I started to incorporate that into my morning routine. And I would listen to praise and worship music. I still do. Morning, noon, and even some nights I'll listen to it, because I think everybody has like their own personal connection with God. But for me, I think the way I feel closest to him is through praise and worship. That's just how I am. Like, music, I think God talks to me through music. I can hear like clear messages through him, through different lyrics and through different songs. And so I purposely would incorporate that into my daily routine, morning, noon, and even some nights. And I would just do that and like read the word and read devotionals. And as simple as it sounds, I felt like that really started to turn my perspective from being sad and feeling pity and feeling empty to starting to realize that God has my back. And one, he does not put any more on me than I can bear. And I truly feel like I was able to get through that test, and I'm stronger than ever now. And I feel like he didn't put more on me than I could have bared. So I think around that time, whenever I was being super intentional about my relationship with God and just making him a priority, I started to feel like just strong and like honestly invincible, in the sense that it doesn't matter what life throws at me. Like, I truly believe that I can get through anything. Like, as long as I have God on my side, I really do feel like I can get through anything. Because going through a whole divorce was a situation that years ago I would have been like, man, I can never go through that. I don't know how so and so does it. I don't know how they went through it. Like, I could have never gone through that. But you guys, like, I've gotten through it. Like, here I am, a human. Like, I have feelings, I have emotions, but somehow I'm sitting here, I'm happy, and I got through it. So it really does work. It really does work, and it really is true. Like, we can get through anything. Yeah, that's all I can say is that it's just nothing but God. Like, God, and then also prioritizing myself and falling in love with myself again has honestly brought me so far this year. And last year, honestly, I wouldn't have been able to admit, because I didn't know that my happiness was in the hands of other people. And that's just a complete truth. Last year, my happiness was in the hands of my now ex-husband, was in the hands of my daughter, my family, my friends. Like, if someone was mad at me, like, I would be like a little hurt, or I would be a little bit mad, or I would be like disappointed in myself, or somebody had like negative energy around, like, that would fall on me, and I'd be negative. I would have negative energy around. Like, my emotions and my happiness honestly depended on other people, when honestly and truly it should have been coming from me. It should have been coming from me, from within. I should have been happy with myself, which would have allowed my happiness to not be affected by other people. Because I was like always trying to figure out, are you good? Are you good? Are you happy? Are you happy? Is everybody good? Like, are we all good around here? But I was never really asking myself that. So I was never really figuring out, hey, Alisha, like, are you good? Are you happy? Are you at peace? Like, what's going on with you, girl? Like, how do we fix this? I was never really focusing or prioritizing myself. And I think that played a huge part of, one, why I don't feel like I was truly 100% happy last year, the year before. Like, I don't really feel like I was prioritizing myself as much as I should have been prioritizing myself. And I think that that's why whenever I did find out that I would be going through a separation and through a divorce, like, I was just so hurt, like, probably even more than normal, because I just felt like my whole world had ended. If my husband was mad at me and my husband didn't want me, then why should I even love myself? Why should I even be proud of the mom that I am? Why should I even be happy with the woman that I am? Because no one is seeing my self-worth. No one's seeing my value. My own husband wants to leave. Like, oh shoot, like, what else is there? What else is there to like live for? What else is there to be happy about? And it just shouldn't be that way, y'all. I should have been like, you know what? I'm gonna fight for this marriage. I'm gonna fight for, fight to make this work. But at the end of the day, if he wants to leave, then so be it. I'll be okay, because I know my worth. I know my value. I know what I have to offer. It should have been that way, but it was the complete opposite. And it took me a long time to realize that my happiness has to come from within. It comes from me and me only. And once I figured that out, y'all, I feel like I was just able to really prioritize falling back in love with myself. What makes me happy? What do I like to do? I'll take myself out on dates. Like, I'll do things that I know makes me happy. And that's whether I'm with family or friends or Valerie, or if I'm by myself. I'll still do it because I know it makes me happy. And I want to live a happy and purposeful life. I don't want to be sitting around waiting for people to invite me to things, or sitting around waiting for, a man's come into my life. I want to be happy, and I want to do things that make me happy. So around like springtime, I started to realize that that's important. Like, it's important to prioritize myself and do things that I love and that I want to do, and fall back in love with myself. And slowly, as you begin to do that, you start to really see your self-worth. You start to really see your value. You start to really see, you start to gain your confidence back. And it just makes a world of a difference. Like, even how I felt back in January to how I feel now, I feel like my confidence has done a complete 180, because I feel more confident now than I probably have felt in years. And it just feels so good. What also has helped, and I know it sounds super simple, y'all, but as a mom, I'm sure a lot of moms can feel this way. I like started to get back my like sense of style and wear things that really make me feel good, feel confident, feel sexy. Like, I am 29 years old. I have a whole lot of life ahead of me, God willing. So I want to look and feel good. So yeah, like I'll do things like I'll wear cute little dresses, I'll wear cute little like jumpsuits, like, and the reason why it's different for me now than, even a year ago, is because whenever I was a mom, I wasn't really prioritizing like getting dressed up and getting cute and getting my nails done and getting my hair done. Like, I wasn't really prioritizing that because I was in full on mom mode. I was prioritizing everybody else, like, my husband, my daughter, like everybody else, but I wasn't prioritizing myself. So even when it came to dressing, I wasn't really like trying to look that cute. Like, I just didn't really care, I didn't really care. But this year, I'm like, you know what, girl? Like, you look good. You look good. Like, put on something cute. Put on something sexy. I'll have my legs out now. Y'all know I love my shoulders out. So I wear my shoulders out a whole lot more these days because it makes me feel so good and so confident. And I just feel like I look like bomb.com whenever I wear outfits that make me feel good and that I look and feel confident in. So I know that's a very simple thing to do, but that has helped me a lot, y'all. And everybody's style is different. Some people like tighter clothing. Some people like looser clothing. Some people like shorter clothing. Some people like longer clothing. Like, it honestly just depends on you. I like a balance of everything. So some days you'll find me in like really cute short dresses. Some days you'll find me in like boyfriend jeans and like a really loose cardigan or sweater. It all honestly depends on the day. But I just wear what I feel good in, what I feel confident in. So I would definitely recommend you guys try that out. But yeah, just taking myself out on dates, like doing self-care days. I now have a self-care day every week where I pamper myself. I give myself the TLC that I deserve. I'll like, wash my hair, get my nails done. Just things like that, like take a hot bubble bath, throw a bath bomb in there, some nice warm bubbles, light a candle, drink some wine, eat some pizza. That's my like self-care meal of choice. That's just how I am, but I love me some pizza, so I'll eat that. And just like really like pamper myself because y'all, I deserve it. You deserve it. We deserve it. We deserve to pamper ourselves. So that's so important. I think that just incorporating all those different things has really brought me to where I am now. And I want you guys to know that although I have incorporated all this into my life over the past like 10 and a half months, I don't want y'all to think that I have not had my bad days, because I have. Like, I have had some bad days. I have had some days where, honestly speaking, like, I've like cussed somebody out or I have like just gotten mad. I had like a breakdown like around Mother's Day this year. That was my last like really true breakdown, but I think I cried like 10 times that day because I was so emotional and I was overwhelmed with the feeling of like being a single mom and like just the reality that I was going through a divorce. Like all those kinds of things kind of hit me. Like 5 months into the year, and I had a true breakdown that day. And I've still had bad days after that. I remember I went to Cabo back in August, and although it was like such a much needed trip, I broke down. No, you know what I did? I broke down there too. I broke down in Cabo. I broke down there because my friend and I were having like some really deep conversations. And I was just allowing like the negative energy, whatever negative energy I had built up in me, just to let it out. And I let it out. And I remember I cried, like, I think at dinner one time. And we just had like some really deep conversations. And that's just what I love, having those conversations with like friends that you really truly love and trust. Because I got like so much out, y'all. Like, I left that trip, I was like an emotional mess, but it was such a much needed trip. I felt so good about everything. I just felt so much better getting all of it out, because from Mother's Day all the way up until Cabo, which was like August, I had built up, some frustration, some anger, some, just negative emotions that I needed to get out. So that trip, I just purged all of my emotions, all of my negative thoughts. And that trip was a life-changing trip because I left feeling so much better. I knew what God had wanted me to do. I knew what God was telling me to do. So I left that trip like being very intentional after talking to him and getting all of my thoughts out and across to somebody and just talking to them. It was like a therapy session, like for multiple days while I was in Cabo, but it was so good. So yeah, that trip was definitely a great trip for me. And I think ever since then, I've just been trying to be like very, very, very intentional. The whole year I've been very intentional. But I think after that trip, I was like, you know what? I got this. And I remember I did some goal setting. Y'all, true story. I had did some goal setting while I was in Cabo. After I had got all of my emotions out the way, all of the like negative thoughts out and just like purging all of my negative energy, I had did some goal setting. And by the way, y'all, I'm really sorry about this lighting. It's just the sun and I can't change it. It's like super bright outside. But yeah, I had did some goal setting, and I remember I was like goal setting about like a new job and like buying a house and like all these kinds of things. And it's so weird because like that day it felt so far-fetched. It felt so far-fetched. And then like a month later, I got the job offer for the job that I was like praying about and like goal setting about on that Cabo trip. So it's just like everything just aligned and everything worked out, and God really took it upon himself to make my goals happen, my dreams happen. And I goal set for a few other things that will be happening next year that I'm like so excited about, that just felt like so far-fetched like whenever I said it, but it'll be my reality next year. So I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful for that trip because I felt like I was able to really and truly let go. Like, I think along the way, along the journey, there needs to be a time wherever you truly let go of all these ideas you had in your head, of all this negative energy you had in your head, of all this like how you had planned your life to be, and how this was supposed to be, and how this is supposed to be, and how that was supposed to be. Like, there needs to be a time where you truly let all of that go. You just let it go. You just let whatever happens, and you're like, you know what? I'm okay with whatever is going to happen in my life, and really mean it. Like, not just say it, but really mean it. And that trip, I really let go of like everything. I let go of it all. Like, I let go of my insecurities. I let go of the negative energy. I let go of how I had thought my life was supposed to be by 29 years old. I let all of that go, y'all. And I just felt like the biggest weight off of my shoulders. I felt so much better, and I just feel like a much better person because of it. And I think once you let go, God is able to really work and do some miraculous things, do some crazy things. I also had just started listening to the series Crazy Faith by Michael Todd, which if you guys haven't listened to it, go listen to it after this video because it is like life-changing, and watch every single one because every single one has a great message. But it's such a good series. And I think after doing all that and then going into the Crazy Faith series, I was like, man, God is about to do some crazy things. And now I know that 2020 is about to be an amazing year. Like, not for like materialistic things, but I truly feel like God is going to just do just some amazing things in my life, and I honestly cannot wait to see what's going to happen. I already said I had goals that I made this year that I plan to see come into full fruition this upcoming year, and I just truly believe it. I feel it. I pray about it all the time. Like, I just feel like next year is going to be an amazing year. And yeah, but yeah, y'all, I just think that doing all that, finally letting go, and forgiveness has also helped me to get where I am. Honestly, y'all, I forgave my now ex-husband because I felt like I was holding on to like being mad at him because he decided to leave, and he wanted whatever X, Y, and Z, whatever, blah blah. Like, I had to let that go, and I had to forgive him because at the end of the day, like, he made a decision that he felt was best for him, and although I may not have agreed with it, I believe like he was doing what he felt was best. And I can't be mad at him for that. I really cannot be mad at him for that. I can't. And it was up to me to forgive him and to move on, because that not only helps me moving on in life and me being happy in life, but it also helps our co-parenting relationship. And I think it's because I have forgiven him and I have just let go like all of the hurt that I had because of all of this divorce and everything. Because I let that go, I just feel so much better. Like, I feel like I don't harbor any bad feelings, any ill feelings. I don't feel no negative energy anymore. Like, I'm good. And I think Valerie is just better off with us being the way we are, and with me having forgiven her father. Like, that's just energy that she doesn't need to have. Like, she's 2 years old. So she is already impressionable at this age. I want to give her the most positive energy that I can give her. And when it comes to her dad, I want to give her the most positive energy when it comes to her dad. So that was one thing I had to do, was to forgive. And that doesn't go for just marriage or, you know, ex-husbands, whatever, ex-wives, whatever. But that goes for friendships, you know, parents, you know, family, you know, everything. Like, forgiveness is key in a journey to moving on and healing and finding happiness. Like, you have to forgive at some point. And that was like my final way of kind of just like letting go and purging and just moving on. I still do have my bad days, but I think that after doing everything that I mentioned in today's video, I just feel better. I feel better. I feel happier. I just feel so much more joy and fulfillment and purpose. And I don't try to rely on anybody else to make me feel good. I make my own self feel good. And I just trust that God is going to do what's best for me. And he's working my life. Like, I'm just following in his lead. I trust him. I pray to him. I talk to him. And just incorporating God, like you guys can tell, my faith is a big part of my life. So just incorporating that aspect into my life, along with everything else, like the forgiveness, the letting go, the journey through these ups and downs, the crying, the sadness, the angriness, like being bitter, you know, all that, like going through all those emotions, but somehow pushing through, getting there, making the decision to be better, and actually being intentional about being better and taking the necessary steps to be better. I think it's brought me to where I am now. And honestly, at this point in my life, I'm just excited. I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about where life will take me. I'm excited about just life itself. Like, life is good. Things could be so much worse. Things could be so much worse. Like, they truly could. And so I'm just thankful for life itself, for having an amazing daughter, for having a supportive support system, supportive family members, supportive friends. Like, life could just be so much worse. And I'm just thankful for all the blessings that God has given me. And I'm just excited to see what he has to offer. So I really hope that, like, sharing my journey, sharing like the ups and the downs and kind of what I did throughout this past year, I really hope it helps you guys, because all of that I just mentioned has 100% helped me this year. Like, hands down, has helped me get to where I am. I'm not perfect by any means. I don't want you guys to think that I'm trying to be perfect, because I'm not. I'm just living in my truth, and I'm just trying to share my story with you guys to help somebody else that may be going through the same thing out there. And it doesn't even have to be divorce. It could be like any kind of life-altering situation, any big change happening in your life, anything that may be bringing you down. That's why I'm sharing my story with you, because I'm really hoping that it helps. So that is my journey over the past year. I hope it helped you. I hope it helped you in even the least bit. If it did, I know I did my part. I really do feel like a part of my purpose is to share my journey. I remember whenever, this time last year actually, I remember calling my dad, and I remember just crying to him about my situation, about how I felt so sad and so empty. And I remember I told my dad, I was like, Dad, like, am I not a good wife? Am I not a good mom? Like, what's going on? Like, why is this happening to me? Like, why is this going on? And I was so sad that day. And it was November of last year. So it was like a year ago. And I remember my dad telling me, like, Alisha, you don't see it now, but your story, your journey is going to be a testimony, and you'll be able to share your story with other people out there, and it will help others. And I remember that day I couldn't really see it. I was like, you know what? Okay, like, whatever, like, sure. But I can say that I truly do feel like me sharing my story and my journey and my testimony is like, I know it's helping you guys, at least one person out there. And that just makes me feel good. I feel like that's a part of my purpose. It's a part of God's plan for my life. So I am being, I'm being obedient and I'm sharing it. And I know that it's helping somebody. Then I know that I'm doing my part as a child of God. So yeah, I hope it's helping you guys. I hope that I shared my journey in a way that you guys can understand and relate to your own lives and find bits and pieces to apply to your own life. If it was helpful, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you guys haven't already. Like I said, I'm super excited about next year. I cannot wait to share more stories and more of my journey. So please stick around and again, subscribe to just see more videos and more lifestyle videos and things like that that will be coming your way. Yeah, again, I apologize for this lighting. I'm so sorry, y'all. I've never done a video with this terrible of lighting, but I don't have my lights because, again, I'm transitioning between houses. So I'm at my parents' house with like no lighting at all. So the sun is all I have. And it's like crazy bright. So yeah, I'm just super sorry, y'all. I didn't want to put this video back or push it back until I found a place to live, but that meant y'all got a video with like terrible lighting. So yeah, I'm sorry about that, but my words and what I had to say was most important. So I really do hope it helped y'all. And I love y'all. I really do. I love and appreciate all the messages that I get from you guys, all the DMs that I get from you guys. You guys don't realize how much you encourage and inspire me, but you really, really, really do. So I want to say thank you to y'all. Thank you guys for always being so supportive and so loving and so caring and just so inspiring. Like y'all are inspiring me. So I just thank you guys. I love you guys. I love this community. I love this channel. I just love y'all like so much. You guys have no idea. So I want to say thank you guys. I love y'all and I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye guys. Mwah.